welcome back to another exciting episode. As you know, we are on a series of how to build and cultivate a great and amazing relationship experience between our customer service personnel and customers. If you followed the last video, we looked about some of the issues that come up when dealing with customers and how customer service personnel would wish and expect customers to treat them in their dealings with them. In today's video, we will be looking at some of the causes and the effects of some of those issues, and then we'll figure out how to prevent them in the next video. Well, let's see. So once again, I have my guest with me, Ethel, here, and then Lovely. Say hello to our viewers. Glad to be back again. Let's go into today's video. Welcome back. If you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I can't wait for you to join the family. Abi, you know that they are part of the family. So yeah, we looked at some of the issues that came up in dealing with customers. We delved into it detailed. If you haven't watched the last video, it's in the description box below, so do well to leave your comments, and I appreciate the feedback that you gave me from the last video. You guys are amazing. So we looked at how impatient customers could be and how some customers do not listen when we are helping them out, how they're trying to tell you what to do, how they can be frustrated, and we understand, but we are just outlining them so that whenever you have issues of such nature, you will know how to deal with customer service personnel. Don't take it too hard on them. It's not the fault of the customer service person that your money is stuck somewhere, that your product went bad, but it is good feedback. So let's encourage a good relationship between the two. In fact, I didn't have a lot of literature to read around this topic because we are always talking about the customer service should do this, a customer service should be this, a customer service should be delightful, all that. And we put so much concentration on the customer service people. How about customers? We are going to look at some of the causes of and effects of all the issues that we've outlined in the last video. And we looked at the fact that sometimes, professionalism or unprofessionalism can be a result of having all this bad relationship between customers and customer service personnel. How does unprofessionalism result to that, cohesion?
Okay, Esenam, thank you. About literature, I did a research recently on similar topic, and it was difficult getting literature for my work. So there's a lot to be done in this area. We really have to do it. But yes, unprofessionalism, how does it lead to the issues we discussed earlier? If a CSO who doesn't know his or her job, or has little knowledge about the product or service he or she is even rendering, then they mess up. A customer calls in or walks into the office and asks for help with this or that, and you're all over the place, you don't know what to say. Of course, the customer is going to get angry, you're going to get irritated. So what kind of people is this company using? They get angry. So it's brings the issue back to the managers. They have a lot of work to do in training. Exactly. First of all, what kind of people do you have? Are you just looking for cheap labor that you just bring anyone? You have to train the people you bring in. From time to time, technology is changing, trends are changing, things are changing. So from time to time, people should be trained on the product and services. If you place a CSO on a product where he or she does not even have enough knowledge about, how then do I go ahead to help the customer when he or she is having that difficulty? As if the customer is not even in front of me and it's just over the phone. It makes it so difficult. So they should be trained. And if you're not going to train the CSOs in depth on the products and services, then at least you should have one technical person always on the team to help where the CSO is not able to. Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
She's mentioned unprofessionalism training. I mean, unprofessionalism goes beyond having building your skill set.
Yeah.
You know, before you are a CSO, you need to have some skills, and you have to you show some passion on your job.
Exactly.
Not so you may want to be a CEO sometime, but at that moment you are a CSO.
Yeah.
Now you need to bring that passion into your job. Do you think that people are motivated enough to bring that passion onto their job to be able to satisfy customers?
Okay, so I like the part that you actually mentioned passion and bringing it to yourself. You see, when you spoke about professionalism, right? One thing that people all look at it from is that they need to get trained and stuff, and they think professionalism comes from just the books or literature available. But we are in a world where we are beginning to know things. Like some years ago, fintech was not anything, but right now it's a thing. There's no literature on that. It's actually being written now. So I believe as we pursue professionalism and stuff, the passion should come from within. Now, if I get a professional person to be able to just someone who knows all the literature, but is willing to develop themselves in line with what they are doing. So we can give you the biggest library on it, but if you don't want to do it yourself, it's like cost 90. So I believe we should put in measures or look within ourselves to actually be able to decide to become better at what we do, in addition to literature available. In terms of motivation, motivation comes in different sides, in different types. There's the financial bit, there's the emotional bit, and there's the psychological bit and stuff. So I believe as management or as managers of an organization, when it comes to your team members and professionalism, you should actually have an even balance, right? It may not be fair, but at least try to have an even balance between financial, between emotional, psychological, because they all make the person. If the person is not in the same psychological state, physical or financial, it will tend to affect the person and even result in less like enthusiasm for the work. So I think we are doing some. I should commend my firm as well. We actually try to put in stuff here and there where I work, but I believe there's a lot that can be done. A lot that can be done. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Ethel, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just love what Lovely said, the last bit. It usually boils down to the managers. You know, if you motivate yourself enough, like you said, it's not just money, psychological, a lot of things. How you react to issues when customers even come to you back door. How you react to the issues. It motivates your employees to go beyond just what you've given them, you know, broaden their scope, enlighten themselves to be able to serve your customers better.
Right. I must say that, you know, when I joined my current job some 5 years ago, interestingly, October will be 5 years that I joined. I mean, I was doing customer service, but I had very little knowledge in the tech space. I had very little knowledge of technology, but I'm a people's person. So I was very motivated to learn more when it comes to not seeing customers, but you are helping customers behind. So the customers cannot see you, but then you're actually giving them an amazing service. So it took me some kind of motivation to take courses on Udemy and all that, because I was in a different sector of manufacturing, and now I find myself in fintech or technology. So you need to build on yourself in terms of professionalism and take up little courses on self-development. And this is for you guys in CSO, as CSOs, build on yourself. Now when you get to find yourself in an oil company, you would also do some level of self-development and take up courses in an oil-based industry. So it's not just about, you know, motivation from the organization and all that, but what are you also bringing on board? Whatever you're bringing on board, you're bringing value to yourself first first of all, you're bringing value to yourself. You're opening your intellectual, mentality or landscape or whatever, and then you're bringing value to the organization.
Exactly.
In that case, if you are leaving the organization someday, the company would, miss you because you brought a lot of value on it. So that's just by the way.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at the effects of some of these courses, right? We look at the fact that personnel can be psychologically drained.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the time I joined the Oval, and I barely knew about handling a customer over the phone and an email, because I was used to meeting the person or the person coming into the office. And this is somebody who I was talking to, and the person was just shouting at me, blah blah blah. And it wasn't like I didn't know what I was up to.
Yeah.
Hey, and I won't forget that lady. I think her name was, I'm not going to mention her name, but my CEO had to take me out of the office, and then I had to cry out at him. And I told you, that was the first and last day I said, I will never let a customer make me cry.
Wow.
Because I'm overly emotional when it comes to dealing with customers. I'm thinking about the customer.
Yeah.
Hey, this person cannot do this, and I'm head over heels, like, but I had to teach myself that don't take it personal. If they are angry at you, they're angry because the service was bad at that moment. It didn't meet its purpose. So it is, unfortunately, you are the one who is going to take that. Now that you are the receiving end, how do you deal with this psychologically? Because that day, I was just almost going to pick my bag and tell my boss that I'm going home, because I couldn't deal with it. It was too much for me.
Wow.
How can somebody be insulting me? Because you used the service and then it didn't meet that demand. But you see, we have to identify that customer service personnel become emotionally drained. Ethel, have you been there before? That you're almost tearing up, like.
I've been there several times. CSOs are expected to bring their emotions to bear on the job, empathize with the customer, a lot of things that deal with emotions. Whilst you are trying to balance your own emotions, even from home, you have to come and deal with the customers too. So like you said, it drains all the energy out of us when customers go all haywire, gaga on us.
Right.
But yes, like you said, the customer is agitating or angry at that particular time because your service or product is not meeting their purpose.
Right.
So it is difficult, but we have to encourage ourselves. Like you said, we have to encourage ourselves and know that we are not going to be here forever. Do what you can, do your best, build yourself up. And I also think that if organizations could put up or bring psychologists, if you could employ one psychologist around, so that because when it happens like that, we CSOs, we also have our emotions built up and we just want to vent on someone. So if we could, like your boss did for you in your experience, he allowed you to vent on him, cry on him. That was nice of him. So yes, if they could have built them.
And then my boss was Claude at the time.
Oh, shout out to Claude.
Yeah, so God, they did well for Esenam. So if other bosses, if you the boss, you're not going to be there, if we could just employ one person, psychologist, who will be around for your people to vent on.
Yeah.
I think I did that to my boss once. I actually vented over WhatsApp, like I poured out my heart.
Everything.
Paragraph. When the next day I was like, oh, you guys need psychologists in this office. It's something else, but we just all got to do what we have to do. Yeah.
Great. Lovely. In being psychologically drained and everything, and if you have a manager who doesn't listen to you because he prefers to listen to the customer more and comes to blast you and all that, does it affect your self-esteem?
Well,
Like, does it give you a low self-esteem, or does it affect your whole being? Let me know how that affects.
I think it does, and it has a positive correlation. Like in the sense that if we are supposed to be team members. First of all, we are team members, and the client is on the other side. Even though we are all in the same boat, but directly, first of all, we are team members. we are solving this issue for the client.
Yeah.
So if you tend to look at what the client says or does over what your team member is saying and doing, will actually have a negative effect on your client. Now, I am very proud to actually have a good and listening manager, Charles Kolo, like Charles. He actually he whenever there is an issue and stuff, right? The first thing we will do is, okay, so what went on in the background? What is the issue? What is that? Then when we know what is in, then he tends to actually go after, because if you tend to listen to the client about what your is saying, what you're actually portraying is a less united front. That these people, they actually know what they're about, because they know that if I say this, what I'll say is what their boss will say, and will then plus. What you're actually showing forth is a, for lack of a better word, this united team. And that will actually also give, as you said, negative impressions to the client, and making them also in the end take advantage of your person. Because once you do that, the client will have the idea, the notion that, okay, even if I'm wrong and I say this, it will get done because I'm always right. And what that does is to actually end up creating a rift inside the team and stuff. And before you know it, you've lost a team member, and that client will also go to another competitor and you are left alone like that. So it has a negative.
Another, I have something to add to what you said.
Sure, please go ahead.
So in my recent research, one of the findings I made was when managers are not supporting enough, and when these issues with customers come behind doors to complain to the managers, and they just pounce onto the CSO, blast them without even trying to understand the issues. Like Lapis is saying, that CSOs begin to feel like, okay, this organization is not good enough for me. It's against my well-being. They begin to build self-defenses, which becomes negative to both the customer and the organization. Yes, so we really have to.
That brings me to my next point about job dissatisfaction, which affects, the quality of the service, and then affects the experience of delivering customer service. So we tend to realize that, like Ethel said, the manager just pounces on you and you are not satisfied on your job. So you are like, then what is my use here? What is my purpose? Because if I'm not finding satisfaction in doing this, then why am I doing it? And they're laid back and they're not giving it their all. So it tends to bring that friction. I'm here, I'm doing what I'm gonna do, and that's it. I close, and they can't even wait for it to be closing time. So they are just there, I'm doing what I can do, time is up and I go home. But that's also not very good. Any last words about the effect that these have on our services?
Well, personally, with your last point you mentioned, when you feel like you're not wanted anywhere, what do? You tend to find a way out, right? As much as there will be issues with customers and CSOs and stuff, we should know that we are in a ship as an organization. We are going somewhere. Every single person is important, right? And you should actually be able to put that across and make everyone feel that they are part of the journey, part of where we are going. And I actually want to comment like them as well. I think day in, day out, our CEO actually reminds us that, you know what, this is where we are going, and this is what you are doing. What you are doing is adding to this for us to get there. So you actually know that, okay, so even if I'm just picking up this and putting it here, this I'm doing is actually adding to the bigger picture. So as much as we do, let's remind ourselves as CSOs or as people, frontliners and also management, that we are all important and we are all working towards that particular goal of the organization. I think if everyone sees themselves that way, both management and frontline, I'm sure we'll actually have a smooth sail. That's my.
Ethel, any last words?
I think Navis has said it all.
Thank you. So viewers, this brings us to the end of the second part of the series, where we have discussed the causes and the effects that this whole issue of toxicity and the relationship between customer service personnel and customers, are not really able to go a longer way, delivering an amazing service. And let's take note of these even as organizations, so that we look out for all these bottlenecks and try to, help and encourage people on their journeys, carry everybody along. In the next part of this series, we'll be looking at the prevention and some of the ways that we can prevent all of these issues. And I'm sure that this will go a long way to help on our businesses and service deliveries. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I have learned a lot from Lovelace and Ethel. And I'm sure that in the next part of this series, we will learn a few nuggets of how to prevent all of these things. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to this channel and do well to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. And don't forget to keep being awesome. I love you all. Bye bye.
Like, subscribe.